If muddy water is to become clear, it has to be left still. If in this process of making it clear you would try to do certain things to the water that would involve moving it, you'd be slowing down the process. Now, this doesn't mean that anything related to water and mud is solved by leaving it alone. Let's say if I want to fish in the water, I have to put a different type of effort. Yet the point still remains, and that is that if muddy water is to become clear, it has to be left still. There is no way around it. And I bring this up because I truly believe that our minds work the same way. And not only do they work the same way, I believe that they have become too muddied nowadays. And I believe that they're clouded by infinite scrolling, by too much entertainment, too much information, too much. And this too much, we all feel to a certain extent. I know you feel it too. Just the content, the amount of videos on YouTube talking about focus and about avoiding distractions shows me that it is common and we all sort of feel it this way. The big problem, and the one I'm going to be addressing today, is how we attempt to remove this mud and to attempt to solve this chaos. Because I truly believe that it is the same way. That the more effort we try to put in, the more things we try to do to the mind, the more we stir it. And we have to realize that if we want to remove this mud, and if we want our minds to be clear, to think clearly, we have to realize that it happens through stillness. And not about doing more, but about removing what keeps stirring the water. To become clear, we have to allow it to be still, and then the stiller your mind becomes, the more of this mud is removed. So you start craving this quick entertainment less, you start seeing things clearly, more clear for what they are. Now, this is not going to be a how-to video on how to focus or how to stop doing these things or what things you should stop doing it, because number one, I believe that you know which things you should stop doing it. I believe you know what the mud is for you. There's infinite content out there on how to remove this. My main point here, and one thing that's it's not often talked about, but it is what will allow you to actually follow through on that. And that is, I believe, what is missing is a good enough reason to actually stop indulging in these things. Because if we think about it, the reason why we indulge in it is because it's easy and we feel like there's nothing better to do. It's like, well, if I'm not going to be scrolling, yeah, maybe I could be learning how to play the piano or starting a side hustle or whatever it may be, but it doesn't feel that important. And the first step in this, I truly believe, if we want it to become still, is to recognize that there's so much potential that I have, that you have, that we all have, if we simply allow ourselves to put it forth, and that this is preventing not only us doing these things and bringing it forth, but also understanding what exactly it is that I should be putting forth. Is it music? Is it writing? Is it building wooden statues? Whatever it may be, it requires a clearer mind to, number one, understand what it is and find out what it is, and then to bring it forth. Because effort, quality one, is necessary to materialize such potential. However, for such effort to be able to take place, the water must be made clear first. Potential is revealed by clarity and only after materialized through great effort. First of all, if you are to bring this forth, the great work that you can do forth, you have to first of all find out what it is. And this can only be found, obviously, through the process that requires a clear mind to find. And then the more you find it and the more clear your mind becomes, the more you can also have these periods of focus, of commitment, where you are 3, 4, 5 hours, days in a row, working on something and really putting that best effort forward. Because I know, and I know you feel it, that there's much more within you that could be put forth, that you could do, but that you're not doing simply because you cannot stick with the right things for long enough. And 10 minutes pass and you're on your phone, and then you're distracted, and then you're just like, you spent more time distracted than actually doing the thing you should do. And I say that this, beyond tricks and tips and hacks and all these videos, comes, first of all, realize that that's not what's missing. What's missing is a good enough reason to actually give it up. And I do recognize that this feels a bit like a loop, sort of, that, oh, I need a job to get experience and I need experience to get a job. And it feels like a loop that you cannot enter. And we could look at what I'm saying here too, and You could say that, oh, okay, so I need clarity to do good work, but I also need good work to have purpose, to actually find the clarity so that I can remove all these things and let them go. Now, here is when I think it's very important, and it's actually useful, motivation. Because let's say maybe this video, maybe something else, something along the line will get you motivated. Will get you a burst of motivation that we know is not reliable, and you can't really rely on this for the long term, but it is very good to get you started, because it kind of gives you a little boost to be like, all right, maybe I'm gonna clear these things up now. I'm motivated. Use that momentum that motivation gives, and that, you know, it's hard to control, but once it does come, use that motivation to get started on the process and then keep that momentum going. This is what I would say, and I know it's no tricks and tips, there's no steps, there's no details, because it is different for everyone. But if you do grasp the principles of what we're talking here, I truly believe that you're going to be able to, number one, find the clarity that is needed to put great work forth, and then actually sit down and do the great work that is yours to do. Now, as you continue in this process of removing more of the mud, becoming more still, dealing with these bad habits, it's a cigarette here, what tends to happen, unfortunately, is that some things are revealed when you pull back the mud, and you become more aware of all the time that you wasted, the ways you've hindered others and yourself in the past, and it's easy to feel like you've been permanently convicted, that you are bad and you are meant to be bad for the future, and you cannot solve any of this. And unfortunately, a lot of people, this overwhelming feeling leads them back to, funnily enough, doing the thing that was clouding everything, and that removing it allowed to see the truth of what's happening. What you have to realize is that it doesn't mean that you're being permanently convicted. These things happened, you did bad in the past, you wasted time, you could have done much better work, you could have, but you didn't. But the truth is that that time in the past is gone. It will not come back, you cannot have it back. And use this and realize that these bad feelings appear not because you are meant to avoid what is revealed, but because you are meant to face it.